guys, Nthefastlane here. In this video I'm going to show you how to change out your AC compressor, the dryer, the orifice filter, and we're also going to change out the serpentine belt. Okay, let's go over the parts. We got our AC compressor. Now here's the part number. It's C0, actually it's CO101280C. So this is an eBay compressor. I got it off eBay, but it says it's made in China. But believe it or not, it looks like high quality. It's brand new. Let's have a look in here. As you can see, it's a really nice compressor. So it comes with the clutch and everything. Can't beat it. Now, let me explain what everything is. So we got the compressor here, and then right here we have our dryer. It's a brand new AC dryer. And seems like everything's made in China nowadays. Also have our orifice tube or filter. It goes in the liquid line on the high side. So this guy right here, you can get them. Here's the part number for that. It's 38635. It's a 4 Seasons. Got this on eBay. Also right here, brand new serpentine belt. Brand spanking new. We'll put that on. I'll show you how to do all that. And another thing we're going to need is we're going to have to compress the little rings that are inside the AC lines in order to pull that orifice filter off or tube. So these go in it and slide forward, and then it pops apart. So I'll show you that. They also have metal ones. These are a little bit smaller, but these are more adaptable. They have bigger sizes and they're cheaper, so you can get either or. As far as price, all of this came to about $170. So you can't beat it. Brand new compressor, brand new dryer, and brand new serpentine belt, and orifice tube. So pretty good deal. Okay, so before you get started, you're going to want to take your vehicle to a AC or automotive shop, someone that works with air conditioning units, and have them evacuate your system. Pull all the refrigerant out so it doesn't go out into the atmosphere, and then you're ready to take it apart yourself. So they might not even charge you if they get to keep your refrigerant. So you might know a buddy or something that has one of those tools. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a 3/8 wrench, and we need to get down here. See if I can zoom in. Right there on the serpentine tensioner. If you see, there's a little square on the back of this tensioner. You're going to slide this extension right here. You're going to slide this right in there, like that, in there, and you're going to pull it towards the passenger side, I believe. Yep. And it's going to loosen the serpentine belt, and you're going to pull the belt off. So it's kind of tricky with one person, but you can do it. Just a quick note, if you take your serpentine belt off and you can't remember which way it goes, this is the schematics. Ford puts them right here on a sticker on the front, in front of the radiator. So this is the exact way it goes. Shows you right here. Oh, get the light out of my way. Shows you right here how to tension and release it. So here's the tensioner, and you pull it back that way, so towards the passenger side. I'm going to stick this wrench down in here and make sure I got it to unlock. And you kind of want to square it up if you can, so it makes it a lot easier. Let me lose this light real quick. Alright, there we go. Now I'm gonna pull it back and try to slip it off. And the bigger the extension, or the bigger the wrench, the better. You gotta be careful. You don't want to get this on your fingers. There we go. And another thing to be careful of, once the belt comes off, which I got the belt off now, I pulled it forward towards the passenger side and I slipped it off of the alternator. So that's the easiest way, because they're right there, you can pull. So the easiest way to do this though is pull it back, slip it off the alternator. Now be careful, because once you take the belt off, it's going to go a lot further to the right, and you can bash your knuckle on the fan clutch. So it almost pushes you completely into it. So just be careful of that. Now that that's done, we're just gonna slip the serpentine belt off, and we're gonna replace it anyway, so we don't need it. Now, the tricky thing is you gotta kind of slide it over the fan blades right here and then out. So I'll bring the camera around so you can see that. Here we go, we're just gonna take the belt. No sense of taking off this whole fan. And we're gonna slide it in the backs of the blades, and then we'll just push it all the way down, and it should fall out on the bottom. Next, we're gonna pull the clip up here on the clutch power right here, clutch switch. There we go. Just pull that out, and in the back of the compressor, there's gonna be a little grommet, so you're probably just gonna want to kind of force that off. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt the compressor from the mounts right here. You've got these 4 13mm bolts, and on the back there's a 10mm. Well, I'm going to do that last so I can turn it and get to it a lot easier. So there we go, we got that off. Make sure you get all your washers if there's any on there, which I don't see any, so I'm going to pull these out, and they all should be the same size, so you don't have to worry about having the right order. So those are all the same size. Now we're going to just kind of move the compressor back just a hair, and now we can get to this one back here. It looks like it's a 10mm. There we go. Whew. A little bit of pressure in there still. We're going to take this off, and then we'll be able to remove the compressor. One thing to keep in mind is this mounting bracket right here has 2 dowels in it. So make sure you put those back, because it actually aligns the compressor on here so the belt won't ride off to the side and fall off, because you could still put it a little crooked. In order to remove the dryer, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unplug the high pressure switch right here, and you just kind of pull down on the back right here. There's a little push button, but you want to pull instead of push. There we go. So you pull it down right here and pull out. So set that aside. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this bolt. We're going to hold it with another wrench here and crack it loose. I believe this is a 19 and possibly a 17. Could even be a 22, but I'm going to use a crescent wrench, so that'll kind of deplete all that. Also, right here, this is where these tools come in. Okay, I was telling you about them, and they slide the spring back. You can get these at Advance Auto. So let me get this untangled, and I'll show you how they work. Alright, so I'm going with the biggest one, 7/8, and that looks about right, and they open up, and you gotta slide them over like that, and then you have to push forward on the line, and you have to push these back in there. So I'm gonna get my pliers, and I'm gonna try to push it in, because it can be kind of tough with just fingers. We're going to use a crescent wrench and a hammer, and we're going to hold it like that, and we're just going to kind of alright, it's all the way in, it's got the spring back, so now we should be done with this tool. And now we're just going to tighten up the crescent wrench, and we're going to whack it out of there. There we go. Now that that's done, we're going to be on to taking off the main line for the evaporator core. This line goes right to the evaporator core. This one right here holds it in place, and then we'll use the other crescent wrench to loosen it. Loosen this bolt right here. So we'll get it tight on there. And we're going to push down on this wrench with the nut and hold up with the other. So kind of pull your hands together, just like that. Now there's one more thing we have to do. On the very bottom here, there's an 8mm nut that clamps the dryer together. I'll see if I can't get a shot of it, but it's pretty far down there. So here's the nut I was talking about. As you can see it right here. Take that off, and then the dryer should wiggle right out. Just took the 8mm screw out, and now it's wiggle free. Just gonna kind of turn it. And that's it. Actually, the screw kind of shot out, so I'll have to get that later. If you can leave it in there, it'll help getting the new one in. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are probably going, where the heck is this orifice filter or tube? Well, it's right here in this line. And we have to do the same thing we did to this top line and push the spring in so we can pull it out, and then it sits right in here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, here's just a quick visual. I'm going to back out so you got a good idea where this thing's at. It's right under the dryer. This one should take a 5/8. I'm going to put it on the back over here. So I'm going to get my crescent wrench. I'm going to tighten it up. Now, you can break these little rubber plastic things, so just be careful. This one's going to be a little bit tougher. Now, keep in mind, this is the high side. All the pressure's out of the system already, so all the lines are open. So I'm going to, there we go. There it comes. And that's it. Now, I'm seeing a lot of oilish black stuff, and usually that's from the rings in the compressor. They make them Teflon rings, and the Teflon, when the compressor goes bad, it explodes in there, and you get all this black soot crap in your AC lines. And when you pull this orifice filter out, which I was afraid of, it shoves it way up in there, okay? So now I have to get some needle nose and pull it out. So let me get some needle nose pliers. Got some needle nose. I'm gonna shove this in here. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll try to grab it because it's pretty far in there. There we go. So here, yep, that is exactly what was happening. Now, this is the filter. And man, this is basically an expansion valve also. So, man, that's definitely what was going on. I mean, it wasn't getting super cold. It was leaking from the compressor. Now, I ran a test on the compressor with a UV light, and it was leaking all on the inside of the compressor. Here's a good look at what a Black Death orifice tube looks like. And all this stuff you're seeing right here, this is the Teflon rings inside the AC compressor. And that's definitely, you see the fibers? So that's what was happening. The compressor was just shot. Now, as you can see over here, you're not really seeing any of the Teflon getting through, just the coloration. So that's good, but this thing's toast. And here's the part number for the new one, which I already mentioned, 38635. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it's not supposed to look like. So anyhow, remember, we took it out this way, so we're going to put it back in this way. Now we're going to put the new orifice tube in. Before we do, clean your hands. You don't want to get any contaminants inside there. We're going to take a clean rag and we're going to stick our pinky in there and kind of just make sure we clean out all the excess stuff that was in there. Alright, let's open it up. I'm just going to grab the tip like this, and as you can see, we're going to put it in just like this. So it has a little arrow. I don't know if you can see, there's a little arrow right here. So if you don't know which way yours goes, the arrow faces in. So we're going to shove this in here. There's really no bad way you can put it in. And we're just going to push. that's pretty much it. Alright, for the sake of not having to move the camera around a lot, I'm going to do this procedure right here. So here's the new dryer, here's the old dryer. And we're going to take this line, this cap off. It comes with a brand new O-ring. And what we're going to do, set that aside because we're not going to use that. We're going to take off the high pressure switch. So we're just going to go like this. Hopefully it's not a lot of torque we're going to put in the vise. Nope. And we're just going to unscrew this one. Okay. We're pretty much done with the old one, so you can chuck this dryer. We're going to clean out the inside a little bit. Just make sure it's semi-clean in there. Alright. We're going to take the part where we just took off the cap and leave the seal on there, and that'll seal it up. It's already pre-oiled, so you don't want to go crazy. You just want to kind of get it hand tight. It's only plastic. This isn't metal, this pressure switch. So just get it semi-tight, and that's it for that. So that's done. Now we're able to set this dryer in here. I'm going to leave the caps on. You might get a little pressure coming out of this, so I'm going to pull the cap because they pressure test these. Probably hold like 30 psi. I'm just going to put something in here real quick. And just stick the Schrader valve right here. Yep, there was a little bit of pressure in there. So that means it was holding its seal. Now I'm just going to take these off, these rubber plugs. And there's one right here. That one's a little tighter, so just get some vice grips. It looks like this one has a new rubber seal on it. Now check your box though, because they could have all new rubber seals in there for you. Let's see what they got on here. And there's another plug on the inside, so you got a cap and a plug. Make sure you pull that off or you won't be getting no air at all. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to go check for new seals for this line right here. I'm going to pull this seal off. And it's just going to go just like this. And then I'm going to take the seal, these seals right here, which these might need to be replaced also because these are getting kind of flat. The other ones were really thick, so I didn't have to worry about them. But while you're doing the job, you might as well replace them all. But I've already leak tested everything, and I was getting my leak out of my compressor, but that doesn't mean it couldn't leak on a new setup. So make sure you replace all of your seals. You can get them at AutoZone. If you are going to change out your seals, you're going to use a little hook tool like this. Kind of go along the side, underhook it, and then it'll come right out like that. So real simple without tearing it up. Now it's time to put the dryer in, and it goes just like this with the pressure switched out to the passenger side. I got my screw and the clamp down here. I'm just going to slide it in the clamp just like that, and right here I'm going to connect it. So I'm going to change out this one because I actually have another one of these. See if I can't find it. I'm going to change out the seal right here. So here's a new one. I'm just going to slide it over, push that to the back just like that, and we're going to lift it kind of at an angle because this one, believe it or not, seems like it has a little bend to it, so you might have to bend the pipe up just a little bit to get the right angle. Got that started, so we'll tighten that up last. Now we have to get the low side on, so what we're going to do is we're going to shove this right through here. I'm going to put a little spit. I know some people might crucify me for this, but just on the O-ring so that it slides in without damaging them. Just like that, and push until you hear it click. Just like that. Now it's locked in. That's done for that. And that's pretty much it. We're just going to tighten this down and then tighten the 10mm on the clamp on the bottom, and we're done with the filter. Last thing to do after you got this bolt tight right here and you got your bolt tight on the clamp that holds the dryer in is just plug in the high pressure switch. So I'm just going to grab the high pressure switch plug. And that's it for that. Here's the new AC compressor, and as far as I know they should have some pressure in here, so wear some safety goggles. And it's a 10mm it looks like, and they should have brand new seals, so you're going to use these seals when you put it back in the vehicle. So I'm going to undo this. Yeah, no pressure, that's good, but it does have brand new seals, and that's awesome. So even the bolt, you can actually reuse this bolt instead of the old one to tighten it down. So those are good seals. You can see they're sticking up, so that's excellent. Now these compressors are pre-oiled, okay? So you want to be very careful. You want to install it like this first. Set it in there and put the lines on there first, okay? Because if you tilt this thing, you're going to lose all the oil, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put this back on just for now. So I don't spill it. Okay. Now I'm going to move it over to the truck and we'll discuss it over there. Alright, we got the new compressor over here. I'm just going to clean up the bracket. And remember, don't forget to put those dowel pins in, because that has to guide up the compressor. Here's where the compressor, bigger ones, has the bigger holes. That's for the dowel pins, and over here there's no dowel pins. This is the easiest way to get this in here without losing a lot of oil. Pretty much you're going to have to turn it, set the compressor straight down, turn it like that, and then slide it in without taking that bracket. That bracket actually, believe it or not, the bottom looks like it'll bend out, but it's really tough. So just make sure that this is really tight on there. Now we're able to put it on the dowel pins. Should slide right on, just like that. And then you're going to slide this bracket underneath or over top of the other bolt. So we're going to take all 4 of our bolts. This is probably the hardest part of the whole job, is just getting that without losing all your oil, because you really don't want to lose your oil. So now you can just recharge it with refrigerant without having to add any oil to the compressor. So now that that's done, I'm going to just torque these down real quick. 13mm again. And that's good. It's on there, it's not going nowhere. Next, you're going to find your pressure switch for the clutch, or not pressure switch, but the magnetic clutch engagement. Here it is right here. Like always, we're going to plug it in the back right here. And then right here. Now that plug was just a grommet that keeps the wire intact. If it's a customer, spray some degreaser on it. You know, I was trying to muscle it in there without losing any of the oil. Last but not least, remember the Serpentine belt I was telling you about? Make sure it's the same length. Well, it's not. So this is the second one that I've gotten that they've given me the wrong length. So when I use the original one, you'll be able to see how it goes in. It's really simple. You follow the schematic right here on the sticker. I showed you that earlier in the video, and that's pretty much it. Here's the schematics. Once that belt is over the fan, I'm going to put it down on the bottom of the crankshaft. Then I'm going to run it over the power steering, up the AC, down to the idler pulley, over the water pump, and then back around, and then finally I'm going to push the tensioner all the way back with my hand and then slip the belt over the tensioner, and that's going to be done. This is the best I can do to show you how it goes. As you can see, it's going down through here, and then underneath the fan, and then if you look down at the bottom, it's starting to come out. So you can see what I'm doing here, and then I'll be able to put it on the pulleys. The easiest way is to get all the belt on, just like the schematic right there, and then leave it only off of the alternator. And then when you pull the tensioner back right there, all the way back, then just slide the belt right onto the alternator. That's the easiest way to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead, comment, like, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out my Facebook page, website, and Android app. All that can be found on my YouTube channel in the About Me section. I'm Nthefastlane, and I'll see you guys next time.